Making a cake, it requires 3 eggs, requires that to be stirred at low speed, and 1 1/3 of a cup of water, and 1/3 of a cup of oil. So anyway, I'll stir this up and put them in the pans. Upon ingredients in there as a cake mixture from the shop, requires you to stir at least 450 strokes by hand. If that's sort of what you need to do. Some ingredients in the cake mix requires you to spray the pan like that. Means greasing it on the outside. I'm using butter. You can use oil. You just put that on the cloth like that. Then you add flour over there to actually make a seal before you put the cake mixture in. Once flour has been, sprinkled in, you can see little bits of flour there. You wonder what on earth, how do you get rid of it? Well, the way you get rid of flour and let it rest in the pan is by giving it a shake first. Shake it left and right. As you can see now, the flour in there has been spreading. Some parts aren't as good as the other. Then tap it. That will spread it around more. Then once you've finished with that, turn it upside down and it's all ready for the cake mixture. You can use an ice cream scoop to measure your butter for the cake, like that. Then tip it in and that's it. Another scoop. How to make a birthday cake. What you do is you get a pan. You get some oil or butter, margarine. You can do that with margarine by scooping into the margarine, putting margarine on the tin or on the cloth and rub it around the tin. Secondly, you've got to coat the tin with some flour. All you do is shake it around a little bit like that, and that gives it a coating. Then you just bang it up like that. Basically it's got a coating. One thing that's very important is to read the instructions, and this is very simple. I'll show you how to do this very quickly. Okay, you have the ingredients that came out of the box here. Now all you do is rip that back, tip the ingredients into a tub. It requires 3 eggs because it says it on the ingredients. So you put in 3 eggs. So that's that part. It requires 1/4 of a cup or half a cup of oil. I'm only using this, so I'll estimate half a cup because it's chocolate cake. Some ingredients only require 1/4 cup of oil. The next part to the cake is on here. It says 1/3 cup of water. So that's 1, 1/3. That's what it says on these cups here. Now I can use an electric beater, you know, or I can stir it. It says on there 450 strokes by hand. Now the reason why you need to do the 450 strokes is to break up what you call is the crumbs in there, so they blend in as a paste. So okay, this is done now. Now the next part of this cake, because it's my wife's birthday, I'll pour it into the tin. I'll pour about that much, probably just a little bit more. Get that much in there because it's going to rise about the same distance up. So the leftover part of the cake mixture, I'll pour it into these moulds because I'm making other little cakes too. You can see that these will come out like cake type muffins. What I've done is preheat the oven to 350 degrees. That will stay in there for about 25 minutes. So you can see the cake mixtures that I've got here, the different styles. I'll show you a topping in a minute. So I'll place the cakes in the oven like this. I'll set the timer to about 25 minutes, I would guess. Say 26 minutes. I turn the oven light on so you can have a look in there. This is what's happening with the cake mixture. As that's cooking, we're not going to be using Frosty. We're going to be using the Jello instant pudding and pie filling. So we could use that. We could use banana cream instant pie filling, or we could use the chocolate fudge. To make the pudding mix, all you do is open up your packet, find the ingredients. This is very quick. Tip your ingredients in the bowl, use a whisk if need be, something very similar like that, and get some milk. Now this is you can use low fat milk or you can use just normal milk. So 2 cups of milk, like that. A little bit left over, doesn't matter. And just stir it in like that. So you whisk it just to break up all the little particles that are there. Very much instant setting, within about 1 minute. 5 minutes it should go hard. Have a look. It's leaky at the moment. Let it settle for 5 minutes. I'll put it in the fridge and this liquid should go pretty thick. I'll do the same with the butterscotch. Just open it up, take it out, rip the packet. This one actually requires 3 cups of milk. So, and that's all that we're doing. We're going to let that set, if you can see that. Stirred it up. See, now that the cakes have risen basically to their maximum peak, I'm going to get a toothpick and see if they're cooked. We've got 6 minutes to go, so it's not really going to be too much of a danger to see them flattening 6 minutes by opening up the door of the oven. The toothpick I just use in testing out those little holes. I've got a cake under there. It seems a little bit jelly at the moment, so that could do with a bit longer until, alright, so we'll test the top ones once again. That seems to be pretty dry. There's no moisture on there. These smaller ones seem to be cooked also because they're dry with the toothpick. I'll take them out. See, this cake that's a bit wobbly in the middle, I'll put up to the top here. Okay, cake in the oven. We'll pull it out and oh, nearly burnt my finger. Pull it out and see if it's cooked in the middle now. We'll use a toothpick, push it in. It's pretty dry. That should be cooked. Okay, some people, they let their cake sit for a fair bit of time in the pan, or they put it in a cooling rack. Well, the way I'm going to do it is tip it onto a piece of paper upside down, because otherwise it will actually steam and stick to the bottom of the pan. So you can see what happened. That's what happens when you put flour on there. Gives it a coating so it doesn't stick. So on these, many people tend to sort of destroy them. They get a knife, put a knife down the side and cut around and everything else, when in fact all you really need to do is spin. What you do is on your cake, when it's in the pan, you try spinning it like this. In most cases, not with that one, it doesn't break. Otherwise you can use a toothpick and actually separate like that. Okay, cake's done. Well, I'm going to show you something that I think I'll just be imaginative with these here. Alright, I've cut a hole in the middle of the cake. Going to get a toothpick, get a piece of cake, and put the toothpick in like that. See? So it stabilizes. Going to run the cake around there. Okay, going to take my butterscotch filling and place it in the hole here. Okay, the butterscotch filling's in the hole. I'm going to take this part of the cake that I cut out the hole there, and I'm going to cut it nearly in half to fit back in the middle. I'll put the whole lot back in the middle because it will be sitting on top of the butterscotch. You can see that's sitting on there. Looks a little bit decorative, a bit poor for you know, birthday cake, but you know, we'll see what happens. And we've got this stuff still to go. So I've cut another hole in the top there to put some banana filling in there from here. Okay. So the middle has got butterscotch in it.
Wow.
Probably it's soaked up.
Yep.
That'll keep you going for days.
Mm.